call this meeting to order on this March 1st, Shelby County Supervisors. I'm also going to say Darren's not here today because he's attending a family funeral out of state. And Brandon also caught some kind of bug, so he's homesick. So with that said, number 10 for his report will be removed, okay? So, yeah, Charlie, you have a conflict of interest,
None.
anything on the agenda?
None.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve the agenda with the removal. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Chance to look over the claims.
Last night, yes, I
Yeah, same here.
motion approved.
Okay, I'll second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Mark, any changes to the minutes for February 15th or the 24th?
There is none.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve the minutes for the 15th and 24th. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Fiscal agent for Shelby County EMA grant. You want to come on in, Alex?
Sure.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, Alex.
How are you guys?
Explain to us what this is about. You can sit right up here.
Okay. So it's for the Shelby County Community Foundation grant. We apply for it every year. Last time they said that since we don't have our own tax ID and it's
We run on ours.
used to the counties, the funds would have to go to the county and then you guys would allocate them to me. So then we applied for a grant for another mobile command unit in the back of a truck like we have in mine, so that we can, both employees could have a mobile command unit, and we'll just have to, if we get it, it'll have to come to the county.
Then will this be a complete, what do I want to say, flow through? So there won't be any stipulations or things Mark has to do? You handle all the management part of it?
Correct, yep.
And
There won't be any,
it's just the check pass through?
correct, yep. I'll do all the grant management and all the reports and everything, and Mark will have to deposit the check and then it can be the
Okay.
so.
Okay. The reason I asked that, we've had some in the past
Uh-huh.
where it ended up being a lot more work than what we agreed to.
Gotcha.
So I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be any more work. I talked with them and it's nothing different than what we've done in the past, so.
Okay. So how much are you applying for? What's
It was 16,000
okay?
is what we applied for.
Okay. Charlie, you have any other questions?
No.
about it? Mark, do
Then
you?
when we receive the money, you guys will approve the check before it's presented to them, so it'll be on the
Just like in
claims
the past.
register. Yep.
Okay. Anything else?
What you doing?
Okay. Pretty straightforward. I have a motion to approve Shelby County Fiscal Agent for the EMA grant.
Motion approved.
Second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Pretty painless.
Yeah.
Okay. Next on the agenda is Shelby County Golf Course liquor license consideration. That's something we do every year. Who's applied for it this year, Mark? Same people or?
Randy Foose is the new manager.
Yeah, you're gonna manage it this year.
Okay, Randy Foos. Okay. As far as I know, we haven't had any issues out there since we've been doing this. Have you had any, Marcus?
No, I haven't had any.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Okay. Motion by Charlie, second by myself. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda, Harlan Airport Commission, ARPA funding requests, and just giving us an update of what's going on out there. Welcome, gentlemen. Good morning.
Morning. Kinda,
You driving or flying?
I wish. I had to drive in, fortunately. You don't have a big enough street for me to land on without power lines. Although Highway 44 does work.
Why don't you state your name in case some of the people are
Sure.
watching?
Scott Pigsley, I'm the airport manager, and Scott McLaughlin, airport chairman, commission
Morning,
chairman's
Scott.
here,
Morning.
as well as Gene Geddes.
Okay.
I gave you guys, I should leave one for Darren. Just a PowerPoint presentation we made up. We found that, or I've found since I've become airport manager, that a lot of people don't realize what goes on out at the airport and what kind of impact it has on the region, economy-wise, not only for the city of Harlan, Shelby County residents, and stuff like that. So that's kind of the reason we'll kind of go through this quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Early facts about the airport. Civic groups in Harlan petitioned for a special election in '44 for the city to purchase property to establish an airport. And so June 19th of 44, they purchased 100 acres from CN and Mary Christensen at a present location for $20,000. Our Hangar 5, which is the furthest to the north along beside the highway, the red and white one, is one of the original hangars that was built in 45. And that's when the first flight breakfast occurred in the country. It was 1945, so we got that claim to fame. Hangar 2 was built in 46 with oil well drilling pipe by a company from Kansas. And the aerial view from 1950 shows the two hangars. Hangar 5 is one clear to the north, and then one clear to the south is what's Hangar 2. And those two are still there and being used. And then next slide or page is the aerial view of 21, showing the present. We have, I think, 9 hangars, and then the terminal office, 10 buildings out there. The terminal office was built in 86, and there really hasn't been any updates or upkeep done to it since. We have 9 hangars that house 28 airplanes. 2 of them are crop dusting, and that's in the large hangar that was privately built by Pete Horn years ago. And that's one of the newest hangars that has been built out there, and that was in the late 90s, I believe. We got 1 twin engine, 25 small single engine airplanes on the field, 14 county residents, 9 of which are Harlan residents, 13 non-county residents are renting hangars out there and keeping airplanes. They're from Omaha, Bellevue, clear over to Kimballton. They're far and wide ranging. We have had some people on the waiting list. We have a paved runway with parallel taxiway. It's 4,100 feet in length. The grass runway is 1,700 feet in length. There's instrument approaches that'll bring you in on the paved runway from both directions to 700 feet above the ground and a mile visibility, which is pretty good. Last year we had 486 visiting airplanes. The local airplanes flew 176 times. Corporate businesses that use the airport on a regular basis is Monogram Meats, Love's Truck Stop, Flying J Truck Stop, Van Wall John Deere, LifeNet, other med flights, ISU, Kirkman Dairy, and then there's a bunch of other small businesses that construction crews or construction outfits come in and check on their jobs around the area, and technicians, mechanics that fly in to work on stuff out of Essentia or other businesses, and we've even had people fly in to pick up parts from local businesses. And this businesses use small jets, turboprops, and helicopters. Ag aircraft are usually busy July through August. We have 6 to 8 planes that operate daily, putting on fungicide and insecticide. And the main ag businesses are AgriLand, FSC, Cyclone, and Nutrien. And they also do cover crop and dry fertilizer. Estimated about 180,000 acres get covered in not only Shelby County, but in Harrison Pot, and Cass, and even up in Crawford.
That's something that's changed a lot in the last 5 to 10 years.
Yes, yes. This last summer, we had our highest fuel sales in the last 5 years. We had 55,000 gallons of Jet A sold, and 50,000 of that is pretty much for the crop dusters. So for airport activity, 12 overnight stays or extended stay aircraft, people in visiting or got caught by weather. Courtesy car was used 41 times, and the reasons for visiting family and friends, excuse me, fuel stops, overnight lodging, cross-country flights, whether people fly in for food. We have some regulars go to Milk and Honey for breakfast, come in for Bucks North or Victoria Station for the big tenderloin or the best tenderloin. Visiting businesses, like I said, delivering parts, picking up parts, specialized technicians from out of state or different parts of the state, medical transport, training, and just pleasure. So like our total fuel sales, 55,000 for Jet A, 8,500 for 100 low lead, so we're almost 64,000 gallons sold for last year. Some different photos. The first one is the ag operation. The one off the left is they're loading cover crop into that airplane. So and then the other one's kind of a panoramic. It shows about 4 or 5 of the airplanes that are operating out there. And it gets pretty congested for the space we have for them to work. And we're one of the largest, most active for ag planes working out of here compared to Denison and Atlantic and Audubon. So it's been pretty beneficial all the way around for everybody. And kind of a snapshot of the aircraft that I've seen come and go out there. And then on to we did some terminal updates in 21, 8-Ball Flying Club, remodeled the kitchen area. The picture to the left is what the kitchen looked like before, just a little sink to maybe wash your hands in, but now it's a large double sink, counter space for a coffee pot and microwave, a lot nicer. And then we were able to do some hangar upgrade to hangar 6. The pictures to the left show the rail doors that were hard to operate, and they weren't secure enough to keep animals and birds out. Now we put on hydro swing doors, and this was funded by state grants. They open up all the way, so it allows easier access, and all you do is push a switch and they're easier to operate for the tenants. And then this kind of next slide or page is past and future plans. It kind of shows the breakdown of what was federally funded on these projects and what portion or what projects were state funded, and then what the local match was by the city of Harlan and all the totals. And then we eventually get down about halfway through our present projects. The apron rehab will be starting this spring, we hope, and it's going to be 100% funded because of the COVID. And the hangar doors are done. And then taxi lane improvements, we're going to start on those too. That's kind of been speeded up by the bipartisan law bill. Will help us start funding some of that stuff. The federal and state government, I'll throw in here quick, will fund, or quicker to fund, aircraft or airplane movement side of the airport, meaning the runways first, lighting, then the taxi lanes, the parking ramp. Them are all high priority funding direction that they like to do first, and then they'll work consider the hangars, the parking, the fuel systems as non-movement areas and not a much of a priority. So then when we're competing with all the other airports, it gets harder to fund like the hangars, the fuel systems and stuff like that in the terminal offices, because it's pretty competitive when you go across the state and across the United States.
Did you have to update or add anything when you started getting more of the ag planes coming in to accommodate, that busy time?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what we're learning.
We're in the process.
Yeah, we're trying to. That's ramp expansion is part of that, and I looked at the possibility of doing a partnership with the ag businesses and the 2 main crop dusters, putting in concrete well, our engineers' estimates come in twice as high as what I anticipated.
What
Yeah.
doesn't anymore?
Yes. They first told us it was gonna be like 250,000 to do what I proposed to make it better for the ag operations, so it wouldn't interfere with general aviation side.
Right.
And then when they finally sat down and figured it up, it not only cost twice as much as the 250,000, it was gonna be 440,000 just to do half the project. So I haven't went back and approached the businesses on that aspect of it, but
Yeah, 'cause I'm sure it's a big benefit to them being so close
yes,
versus having to go out of county or
yeah,
50
yeah.
miles away.
right,
And to the farmers.
yes, and.
Get more done in a day.
Right, yep,
I think where we've tried to position the airport over the last several years is to be that hub. You know, the greatest opportunity for revenue generation and business development at the airport is that ag sector. And so what we've tried to do is make it as accommodating as we can, and you know, through Scott's efforts of logistics, basically on the ramp, you know, let alone, you know, supply chain on the fuel and that sort of thing. We've tried to streamline our processes there, but then also look at our airport improvement plans and kind of directed them as an opportunity to also, you know, further that improvement through the FAA funded projects, and can continue to work to be the desired airport for a lot of those businesses to work out of, and serving, you know, the ag community, you know, within actually probably several counties around us.
Yeah, so, I mean, trying to form some kind of partnership would make sense
right, right.
for everybody.
And that's what some airports are going to, more of a regional, and partnering with county or other counties to fund in other cities. I think Pella and Oskaloosa are working on putting a regional airport between those two locations. They just done one up in Orange City there, and totally built a whole new complex and relocated their airports. And the other thing I neglected to mention, that some of the hangar spaces, the one hangar up there beside Pete Horn's, both of those hangars were built privately by businesses to hangar their business planes in and operate out of. Stay Built and Western, over the years, have had planes to do their business with, to operate out of the airport. And Loves and some of the other businesses, corporate businesses, locate their businesses according to airports, so they can come in and check on their assets
Okay.
easier. Because like in Kirkman Dairy, when they come in, they've come from other sites that they visited that same day. So they can do multiple stops and check on things, and more efficient use of their time. So it's why it's more beneficial to have an airport around and make sure it's appealing to everybody for the potential of commerce and development. And on our application, I figured up, and there's around 3,000 people that pass through the terminal office during the course of the year, with our flight breakfast, our soup fly-ins, when the crop dusters are running, and the guys coming and going, looking at the airplanes, or working on the airplanes out there at the airport, our meetings that we have there, the 8 Ball having their meetings. So there's a lot goes on at the airport that people miss when you drive by on the highway and just glance over and you don't see much happening that 30 seconds that you're passing by. But what else happened during the day that it's easy to miss. So this is part of the education for how the airport's benefiting the community and the county. Any questions? Or
Would you just say what the ARPA request, how much and what that would be used for?
it when they built the airport office, none of the windows are operated. They're solid windows. Stationary. So and the doorways, you got to prop them open. There's no screens or anything, so there's nothing for cross ventilation.
Okay.
And the HVAC system is original as well. So, and our ventilation fans need to be updated in the bathrooms. So with that project listing, who it benefits and stuff, the total cost of the project with bid estimates we have is right at $25,000.
Okay. So when you have, it sounds like the agribusiness, especially that July, August time, use a lot. Are they allowed to use the office, the
Yes.
restrooms and that then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And even after hours, transient pilots say, outside of business hours, there's a way to access the terminal. So 24 hours a day, should somebody need to, or even, scouts on call too.
Okay.
There's a call out fee, but they're
Accessible.
yes, accessible 24/7, 365. Yeah.
Sounds like you guys are trying to do your dangest best to keep the place up out there.
Right.
So
Yep.
it
And
is an asset.
yes, so like I said, with not being able to put the monies toward the structures is kind of tough. They're falling behind on as far as upkeep and stuff. And I've invited city council, invited board of supervisors to come out, and
Okay.
I'd gladly give everybody a tour
Okay.
of what things are
Okay.
and where we sit and what our hopes and plans are for the future.
Okay. I'll just say, since our last board meeting, we've had 2 more ARPA requests. And right now, as we sit, we have double the requests compared to the money. So
Right.
we're gonna look at them all. It probably won't be till the end of April, May. That's kind of the range we talked about. But I'm gonna say before June, we're gonna issue, but I don't know where it's gonna end up to be.
Sure.
Okay, I mean, we've already set some priorities, and we'll start with that guideline. And
Sure. Like I said, we're already used to that with the state and federal funding as it is at the airport now, because everything's, like I said, is very competitive.
yeah,
And if the lion's share of the funding goes to the commercial hubs like Omaha and Des Moines, and then
it's always the case, ain't it?
yeah, and then it trickles down to us small guys.
Yeah.
We get the change or the crumbs, whatever's left over.
Well, this has been eye-opening. I didn't know you got that much traffic through there.
Yes,
Yeah, I know that the ag aircraft have been out there, but
right.
I didn't know you had all
Not to
that.
what degree.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's even, I was flying for 20 years with the state patrol. I knew how much people flew and stuff, but to know what goes in and out of a particular airport, you gotta be there and collect that data and collect that information to know what's going on.
Thank you. Do you guys have any other questions?
I don't.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming today and enlightening us.
Yes, no problem, anytime.
Okay. Thanks, Scott.
You bet.
Gene, thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, Mr. Todd Lean, Chamber update. Good morning, Todd.
Morning. Just a couple of quick items. One,
Are you recuperated from the weekend?
yeah, as I say, one is just a thank you for a wonderful banquet Friday night. Just from, not only from all the folks that donated items for our auction, but Main Street Market, a fantastic meal. Shelby Book did a great job for us taking photos. The auctioneers, Osborne Auction, did a fantastic job. And the award ceremony itself went very well, so the Shelby County Fair Corporation was our nonprofit of the year. Lonely Oak Distillery was our new chamber member of the year. Victoria Station with their Tenderloin Win came in as business of the year. And then one of the awards that I really appreciated the opportunity to present was Ed Getzinger as our volunteer of the year. So yeah, no, that all went really well and very exciting, and we're looking forward already to, you always find a couple of small things you can make a note of and then see what we can do next year. So looking forward to it.
Well, that's the Chamber's #1 fundraiser of the year.
Yes, it is.
From observing, I would say the auction had to be one of the best ever.
Yeah, no, we did very, very well with the auction. And we also, what I was really happy with is we had to increase our ticket price a little bit because, costs like catering and things had increased. and nobody batted an eye. I mean, we sold over 150 tickets for the event, and so that was just wonderful.
Yeah, very, very supportive.
Yep, and there was great energy in the room, and it was a good night. The other thing I wanted to just bring up to you, and this is right now a very, very young idea that we'll be working through, but at the HMU board meeting last Thursday, I had a chance to talk with Tom Coleman, who's the new general manager of Regional Water. And he introduced the idea that they're starting on a new project. The way he presented it was Council Bluffs only uses about 10% of the capacity of their water system right now as far as how much water they can process. And so Regional Water is in conversation with them about running a pipeline up this way and bringing water.
It would take an additional one, a separate one?
Yeah, to support, the communities throughout their service area. And would eventually also be able to help support Harlan a little bit. That's why Tom was at the meeting. He had talked to Ken Weber, and Ken asked him to come to the meeting and just kind of introduce the idea. So I'm going to be sitting down with him this week, get a better understanding of not only the timing of what it is that he's trying to do, but how it will lay out. I think there's probably something we can do through our local COG, SWIPCO, to help out, as well as maybe through a couple of other state agencies to be able to support this, especially with the drought conditions and everything going on right now. So I'll keep you updated as that goes.
Okay.
But it was interesting. It was great to meet Tom. He's the new general manager out there, and he's really gung-ho and ready to go. So he's going to be great to work with.
How long's he been there?
Not very long at all. I mean, I know that, I think it was last year I had seen that they had put a posting out that they were looking to hire, and I had not seen a follow-up, as to when they actually made the hire. But I don't think he's been there for very long. So just wanted to give you that update, and then like I said, as I work with Tom, and eventually, hopefully, maybe even Tom will want to come in and talk to the board and give you guys a complete update on their project. So,
Okay.
all right, that's it for me. Any other questions?
Oh.
Nope. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Next on the agenda is Resolution 2022-16, which is agreement with Iowa Association of Counties Group Benefits. That's who we get our health insurance from, and according, you correct me if I'm wrong, but according to this, they're setting up a 2080 agreement that they haven't had in the past, because they've kind of taken this, it used to be under ISAC, and now it's going to be ISAC Group Benefits Program, so it's going to kind of sit on its own, and so they need a 2080 agreement with all the counties that participate. And it's been a great investment for us. I mean, the last 3 years our health insurance has gone down, which is unheard of out there. So, am I missing anything?
Nope, you got it.
So, we just need to pass that we're going to set up a 2080 agreement with them and continue on with what we're doing.
You need a motion?
Yeah. Do you have any
Make that
questions?
motion.
Mark, do you have any other thing to add?
No.
Okay. I have a motion from Charlie, second by myself. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And on the insurance subject, I'd like permission to what we agreed on when, unless you want to wait for another
No,
meeting.
no, it's fine. It's part of this.
Yes, and our plans this year.
Yep.
And I sent them to you.
Yep.
Emailed them to you.
That
And
you can sign
everybody's
off on 'em.
agreed. And the life insurance stuff is coming separately. That's why it's not on here.
Yep.
Because I contacted them and said, why isn't there any life insurance on there? And they said, that'll be a separate deal coming up later.
Okay. So you just want the okay to sign off on that when the
Yes.
things, when they come in?
I-
Okay. I'll make
Well,
that
they're
motion.
here right now. Everything but
Second
the
that.
life insurance.
Okay. We made a motion and second that we give you the authority to do that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Information, Marcus. I have one thing for you. Mark has filed with that opioid settlement to the state. He has filed for us to receive our portion back. And I've been talking to some other, we had our regional supervisors meeting here last week, and by talking to the other three counties, the county attorney, after he files, they continue on and look into filling the paperwork out or do what needs to be done to do that. So would you be so kind and follow through with that?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
With Mark's
And like
assistance.
Monona,
Yeah.
Harrison, if you needed somebody to lean on, they've already are in that process already. Crawford.
Sure.
So if you could follow through with that, yeah, I'm sure Mark would be thrilled.
Yes.
And he can give you all the information, can't you, Mark? On that?
Yeah, and I think I've tried
kinda
to
put
supply you
together,
Okay.
with the information. I'll make sure, I'll just forward it to you and maybe you can sift through it.
Okay. Thank
See
you.
what you do and don't have.
Sound like it was. Hang on a second. The state of Iowa received 4.7 million to address the opioid crisis. So, what our share is of that, you'll find out.
Yeah, I think it was a split between the state and the counties.
Right.
It might have been 50-50, something like that, but obviously it's a per capita.
And that comes back to us,
After that.
and we will use that for the mental health opioid programs that are out there. So it doesn't go into our county coffer, it goes out to help with programs to address the problem. So, okay, anybody have anything else? Okay, I'm gonna,
Gene?
Gene,
Just a reminder for the public that Wednesday and Thursday, 7th Street, the one block between Baldwin and Durant, will be closed due to a house being moved. We pushed that out through media outlets.
okay,
But it's due to a contractor moving a house, relocating it to North Harlan.
okay,
It's a busy area, we're just off downtown here.
okay,
And just awareness for you and for the courthouse as well.
okay. Now, we're gonna recess, and then in about 5 or 10 minutes, we're gonna start. We have our final budget workshop to kind of get everything finalized, and appreciate everybody coming, okay?
Thanks for your time.
Thank you all.
Thank you.